Good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J, a spiritual divine. I'm here to give you a word on tonight. Um, we still talking about David, but we're talking about Saul when him and his sons had died. Because David could not get in position because Saul was still the king over Israel. So Saul take his life after he saw his sons. Come from 1 Samuel 3rd chapter 31 verse 1 through 13. Now the Philistines had fought against Israel, and the Israelites flee before, and many had fell dead. Oh my God! So this is a battle that David was also, was pulled into. Cause see the battle, David was supposed to get into it, but David, of all this, he didn't want to deal with it. But then Saul deal with it. Now Saul would deal with it, and he felt like he didn't see God. So he thought God, was quiet, wasn't gonna answer him. So Samuel was there. So he got an endure, a Jews, and had her to seek the dead. For him to get answers from Samuel, because Samuel used to be like his guardian. He always to ask Samuel what to do and how to do it. But Samuel's dead now. Now he want to seek Samuel for answers instead of seeking God. You know, so and two, but it turned out, that Saul had quickening in his sandals and violated God's law in order to seek godliness from Samuel's ghost. And see, that's what the thing was. He he did not seek God. He wanted to seek a psychic or someone to help him seek the ghost, because Samuel was there. And so God orchestrated all this here for his life. You remember when I put out the other day, David had prayed, because this been like 20 some years, and then Saul messed up and did this here, and David had prayed, that God was going to make him a king over the Israelite, and he wondered why it didn't ever happen. So God just started putting pieces together. So the Philistines were in high pursuit, of Saul and his sons. So they had killed his son and Jonathan and his two brothers. So the Philistines had killed Saul's sons. It was trying for Saul to see his sons dead. Therefore, in the power. So it was judgment from God, because Saul had seek the dead Samuel, to seek what to do with this battle, and he didn't know what to do. He always contact Samuel of what to do and how to do this and how to do that. He didn't he didn't know how to do it on his own. But Samuel is there. So when he seeks Samuel, Samuel said, "This what you disturb me for?" He was so used to calling Samuel. So he didn't seek God. Now it was told through Samuel that him and his sons, will be dead the next day. So all this activity happened the next day after he had seeked Samuel the ghost. So the fighting had grew furious around Saul, and when they overtook him, they wounded him very, very critical. And the battle had went heavy against Saul, and they aimed at him directly, and he was wounded. So they aimed at him real good, because God had delivered him into his enemies, because he wants to seek. See, God don't want to seek the dead. A lot of psychic witches and all this here seeking it, they don't seek God for answers. They're doing that on their own, because God don't want us to seek the dead and seek doing all that witchcraft and all that. They're doing that on their own. They're not seeking God for answers. So Saul had said to his own battle, draw your sword and run it through it. Because see what Samuel told him, he putting two and two together. Samuel had told him the next day, by the same time, you and your son's gonna be dead. So he remembered what Samuel had said. So he like, I see my two sons. So I ain't no way for me to escape out of this here. You know, um, so he told his servant, just seek that sword in me. Because the uncircumcised fellow would come and run through it and abuse him. So but his armor bearer was terrified. He was terrified, because Saul is his master. So he would not do it. So Saul had took his own sword and put it into himself. So the Jewish evildoer, who Saul had seek, for Samuel. So he knew that he was gonna die, in this battle, from the words of Samuel. He started remembering what Samuel had told him. So he had saw it was impossible. It was impossible for escape this him. He knew he couldn't get nowhere. Could God deliver him into their hands? So he knew it was impossible for him to escape this battle. And he didn't care no more anyway, because he saw three of his sons. He saw all three of his sons laying there. But any parents to see that, they'll just be hurt. They were like, why, you keep going on. But when the armor bearer had saw that Saul was dead, he too felt on his sword, and he died. He didn't want to do it to Saul, but he felt like there was no way for him to keep on living, so he did it to his own self. So the king Saul had suicide was influenced on the young armor bearer, who followed Saul's example and fell into the same way. So Saul and his three sons and his servants, all his men did die all together. Because they all feel like, Saul was the boss. So they felt like if our boss dead, all this, the Philistine and all that gonna come after us, we have a losing battle. No way we gonna win. And that's the way they saw it. Instead of them getting in charge, since Saul gone, they just feel like, well, we can't win anyway. Our master gone, and they didn't want to take in charge. So they all died the same day. So Saul had died, and his three sons, and his servants, they all died in the field of the battle, the same way, the same day. So when the Israelite along the valley and those across the Jordan had saw that the Israelite army had fled, that Saul and his sons had died, abandoned their town, and flee. So the Philistine had came and occupied the body. So the Philistine came, and took the body. So this is all it's saying, that Saul was still in charge. And when David came to God to pray, it's taking long. You say I was gonna be the king over Israel, and Saul was still in position. So now Saul is out the picture, and then all the sons is out the picture. And I'm gonna come later on with the package after that, the reason why I did this first. And so now the Philistine have the bodies, of Saul and the sons. And so Saul felt like there was no way he can escape and get out of this battle. He always was in charge. They always was winning the Philistine. But this time, when he saw all three of his sons, he was like, I don't need for me to fight. They don't need for me to keep on trying to win. Look at my three sons laying down there. And then he put two and two together. What Samuel had told him. The next day around this same time, you and your three sons. So he's seeing everything is coming to pass. So the next day, so to put Saul army in the Philistine temple, they put him in the Philistine temple. So give credit to goodness victory. They took it to have victory. Because see, Saul used to always win. And that's why his servants, when they saw Saul was gone, they were like, so they all killed themselves, because Saul was good. He used to always beat them. That's why he used to get mad when David came along, because David always beat him too. Because David can beat somebody with his hands. He used to kill animals with his bare hands. So Saul was good, but he didn't feel like fighting no more when he saw his sons laying up there. And so the Philistine took Saul and his three sons just to have victory. So when the people of Jezreel, Galilee, had heard what the Philistine had done, they came to possess the body. because he knows the Philistine was going to do. So the Israelite retreats about it. They retreat about it from the temple and put it in their possession. So they put it in their possession. So now we see that Saul and his sons had died the same way. And um and he had seek the ghost. He seeks Samuel, for advice. Now Samuel didn't give him no answer. Samuel didn't give him no, because Samuel already knew God had told him by tomorrow by this time. And so Saul had saw his sons there, and so he wanted to take his life. He said there's no way for me to escape this here. He said there's no. So the Israelite came in the middle of the night and retrieved to buy the, because you remember Saul was still their king. Saul was still their king. And so Saul was still the Israelite king. So this point David still don't know that Saul and Jonathan, he don't know about all this here yet. So I had to do this here first, because when I'm coming out later on or tomorrow, then it'll make sense. And then the other day I put out like David prayed. He had prayed. He got to a point, he got tired of running and running from Saul, running from his enemies. And so David got to a point he was tired, and he wanted to get in position. And so now he seeks Samuel instead of seeking God. And maybe God could have worked something out for him. But God don't want us to seek the dead. He don't want us to seek the dead. We have to seek him for any problem. And because he on his journey. He working under God. So he not supposed to seek the dead. He supposed to seek God. Supposed to seek God for answers. So that's all I have for you tonight. Y'all have a blessed and safe night, and I see y'all in the next video.